Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
For over 50 years, Burlington's legacy has been great deals on coats for all weather conditions. So before you're caught unprepared for the winter weather, head to Burlington for name brands, quality items, and surprising fits for every family member. Stock up on coats, sweaters, and accessories before the cold hits, so you can finally stop avoiding the elements and start living comfortably. Warm up at your nearest Burlington location less than 1 mile away. Burlington. Deals, brands, wow.
Was it ambiguous in any way? Did you maybe say potential sailors? Because I do like the water.
You did it right.
Wow, you're a potential. You could be the next Slayer.
Oh, wow, it's like 1 second you were this klutzy teenager with fake memories and a history of kleptomania, and then suddenly you're a hero with a much abbreviated lifespan.
This is huge. We have to think about this.
I can't think about this. It doesn't fit in my head.
A Slayer. Makes sense, I guess. Remember that thing about they share the same blood or whatever?
Yeah, I never got that. She has to die. I mean, if I was ever the Slayer, it would mean she died.
Well, it's a lot like being the Pope in that way. Except you don't have to be some old Catholic.
O'Reilly. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And today we're talking about Season 7, Episode 12, titled Potential. Directed by James A. Contner. Written by Rebecca Rand Kirshner. Original air date January 21st, 2003 to an audience of 3.61 million people. And before we get into the episode, everybody, we have a couple of shout-outs. Sloppy Joe shout-outs for the day. Go to number 1, Liz from Canada. Liz from Canada, thank you so much for your rating on Spotify. We really appreciate it. We got to give some other shout outs to Let Me Leave a Review. Thank you so much for your Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review. We really appreciate it. We got mad love for you too. And also got to give a shout out to Honeybee. Honeybee doing promo for us on the Apple Podcast. She's promoting the Patreon. She's promoting the Discord. Thank you so much, Honeybee. We really appreciate it. If you want to get your very own shout out, leave a 5-star Apple Podcast rating and review. Leave a 5-star rating on Spotify. Take a screenshot of it and send it in to us by any means necessary. And we will give you that shout out. Good shout outs today, man.
Yeah, Sloppy Joe was on it.
Reading those reviews, they brighten my day.
Mm-hmm.
They brighten my day a little bit. I'm just like, oh, yeah.
Somebody loves us.
I know. What if it was just like my mom making 138 accounts or whatever, how many reviews we have?
I kind of just assumed that was what was happening.
Thanks, Mom. We like you, Joey. You're so good.
The laundry's done.
All right, we got to follow up some stuff from last episode, right?
Yeah. So, we kind of went in hard with the on Buffy for her here endeth the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And on Discord, our listeners brought up that this is a callback, and I figured it had to be a callback because it made no sense to me, but I didn't know the callback. I couldn't remember what had happened, but apparently Spike has said it, and so has the Master.
Yeah, so this is the third time's a charm comedy rule of 3. I didn't think that it was a callback at all. I was just like, this is something cringe that Buffy would say.
See, I thought it might be a callback, and I didn't bring up that it was a callback on the podcast, but I thought it had to be a callback simply because Buffy does not speak that way, ever. And the funny thing is, someone went back and listened, and we haven't liked it any time it's happened. So at least we've been consistent on not liking that line.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can accept that then.
Yeah.
I appreciate that somebody had the dedication, number one, to go back and find our review of that one single line.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell what if they know what episode it's in. It's not too hard to track down.
Yeah, but I still don't like it.
No, yeah, it's even with that, I'm like, what is? It seems like Giles should be one of the people that says that line.
It seems like Wesley would have been somebody to say that line.
See, if
like Wesley.
I think if Wesley had said it, it'd be weird for her to call it back. But if Giles said it, and it was like, oh, now Buffy is now the Giles. She's now it would make more sense to me than she's like, well, the vampire I slept with and another vampire who killed me. I will now ape their line.
Speaking of Wesley, we have a Patreon, everybody. Patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we're doing Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, Joe's Fashion Report /Corner. And after Angel this week, I texted Vance. I was like, I am all of the emotions. I don't know if I like it, love it, hate it, despise it. I had so many feelings after watching this week's episode of Angel. So if you want to check that out, it is patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We will have a full review of that episode.
What is that episode titled?
Fuck. I know it's
Salvage.
Season 4, episode 13.
Salvage.
Salvage, yeah.
And we also have we did Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed on Patreon. It is going to be a blast of a podcast. It will be out. It should be out this Thursday if you're listening to this in real time. And it's a wild one.
It's a divisive one. This is one of the first times like Vance and I had quite a few disagreements about a movie, and I feel like it was pretty civil.
As civil as it could be in my state. But you had to listen to find out more. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So check that out. And let's crack open these monsters. We're a couple of zeros today, right?
Yep.
Just a fucking couple of zeros doing a goddamn podcast. Whoa, I just hit my microphone. Whoa, I cannot. There we go.
Pathetic,
I know,
Joe.
I'm really bad at this.
Also, a little more follow-up because we're never going to get to this episode.
Oh, yeah, right.
We brought up, we went on a little tangent of Willow sleeping in the room that Tara was killed in.
Oh,
and
right, yes.
Apparently, Buffy and Willow have switched rooms. Willow is in Buffy's room, but they changed the furniture around so the rooms look different. That is
and Buffy is now in the haunted room.
Yeah. This is the word on the street.
All right.
We'll see.
Hey, I'll trust our Discord people.
Yeah.
Have they ever led us astray before? I think they have. maybe once at least.
I'm sure they have.
But yeah. So potential. Do we remember what our predictions were for this one?
Yes.
Because I don't.
I said that Andrew tries to prove his potential. You said Spike tries to prove his potential, and Buffy trains pre-slayers.
All right. Okay. I got a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew proving his potential. He's trying to help.
He's trying.
Yeah.
A little bit.
You know what? Overall, that's a win for us. We've been down bad with these.
Yeah, we'll count this one.
This is a win for us. Oh man, what'd you think about potential? Did we like it? Did we hate it? What would you rate it, Anthony Fantano?
I rated this as goodish.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The ending oddly got me in the feels, like really emotional.
Xander's a mature person now.
Yeah, he's a fully formed. Watch like next episode, he tries to like grab Dawn's ass or something.
Yeah.
But that last scene
Mhm.
really got me, dude.
It was what we needed in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that was very well done.
Yeah. So let's get into this bad boy. So the episode opens up with a long ass recap of Dawn seeing Joyce's ghost, Buffy believing in Spike, the Harbingers taking Spike, the Turok Han being released, all of the potential Slayers searching for other Slayers, Rona being brought to town, Eve being the first evil and dying, Buffy killing the Turok Han, and Buffy freeing Spike. Keeping helping of recapping.
Mm-hmm.
So, episode opens up with the potential Slayers, Rona and Vi. We now learn Felicia Day's name in this episode. Vi is, they're in the graveyard and they're walking around with stakes and they get attacked by Spike. And Spike shoves Rona to the ground and he grabs Vi from behind and he's about to like take a chomp out of her neck. And then Buffy's like, all right, class, what went wrong there? And this is just like a test run for like the potential dangers that are going to await them if any of them are named the Slayer after Buffy dies.
Are they not worried about the first controlling Spike anymore?
Nah.
Oh yeah, they kind of like wave it off with like later with like
he got a first evil chip.
Yeah.
they got a software update in the chip.
Just a scene of Willow going zip, 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 zip. All right, installed the chip.
Yeah, chip 3.0. He can now not be attacked by the first evil or controlled by the first evil. But Buffy's like, all right, so what went wrong there? And Rona's like, I got killed, obviously, and no matter what, I'm going to fucking die because I don't have Slayer strength and speed like you do because I'm not the fucking Slayer yet. I'm just a regular high school age girl. And Buffy's like, no, but who has the power?
And the black chick always gets it first.
She did say. And that was pretty funny. And Buffy's like, look, you have the potential to do great things, but you have to trust your instincts. Spike, what is your instinct in this scenario? And Spike's like, well, my motivation in this scene is that I want to hunt and I want to eat these girls and I want to suck their blood from their necks. It's like, all right, Vi, Rona, what do you actually want to do? What do your instincts tell you to do? And they're like, for real though, my instincts said to run. And Buffy's like, I accept that. That is a perfectly acceptable thing to do because you need to make the fight come to you and you need to fight these vampires on your terms. If you're afraid and you're shitting your pants and you think you're going to be there and just like fight, that's not good, dude. So regroup and get ready to fight again on your terms. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And then they're like, well, Buffy, like, what can you do? And Buffy's like, check this out, cracks her knuckles. Spike, come at me. She just fucking slams his face into a tombstone.
She doesn't slam his face. She just moves and he jumps head first into a tombstone like an idiot. And I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And he's like, and then she hops on top of him. She's like, this is how easy it is to take him down.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not how fighting Spike ever goes. He's not she's treating him like he's just like a mindless zombie. It was the weirdest. And then it gets even weirder.
Oh yeah. Because when Buffy's on top of him, mounting him, Spike is still like hurt a little bit from number one, being tortured for 3 episodes.
He went head first into a tombstone.
Yeah. And number 2, going head first into a tombstone.
But his abs are...
His lack of abs.
Yeah.
Lack of abs. All right, look,
Yeah.
look.
All right, yeah.
We got to be fair here.
I'm saying his abs hurt because you still have abs underneath a layer.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
like
right.
you don't
Scientific.
you don't like not have muscle.
All right, Vance, with your loophole.
Yeah, I'm not here to let you body shame Spike.
But anyway, he's still hurting, and Buffy's like, Spike, come on, let me see what's going on. Why are you hurt? Let me see how you're healing up. He's like, no, trust me, I'm fine. And then it's like,
let's get you out of these pants. You got to make sure everything's.
And the potential slayers are sitting there watching it, and they're like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, should we like try and make out with our vampire victims? What are you doing, Buffy?
One of them goes, that's hot.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is grooming slayers. Like, this is not good.
Yeah. And I was just like, geez, Buffy, way to keep it on the DL there.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that these potential slayers picked up on that for like an instant, and the rest of the Scoobs are still like, they
already knew
forever.
that she hooked up with Spike.
But they took for the potential slayers did?
Yeah, I think they already know that she kind of has a thing with Spike.
You think that she like filled them in on that?
No, but it felt like they had a vibe of like, why do we have to protect this guy? What's the deal with this guy? Like,
All right.
they get it, and they're all 15-year-old girls.
Yeah, that is true.
And if they're pre-slayers, they're all, I guess, attracted to Spike. I don't know if Buffy's different than the rest of the slayers that came before her.
I also don't understand.
I mean, Faith was going to hook up with Angel.
True. I gotta say, so remember last episode when they were all arguing about like who could be the potential slayer?
Mm-hmm.
And Kennedy was like, oh, I might be too old for this.
Mm-hmm.
And the other girl was like, I might be too young. And then this episode, we find out they're all 15.
Yeah, because there were a couple other girls that aren't here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they definitely pared down the group.
Did they?
Yeah, because remember there was all those girls that it was Kennedy was talking to like 3 other girls before Rona even showed up, and they were telling the story of Annabelle leaving.
Well, that was Molly telling the story, and she was talking to Eve.
But Kennedy wasn't one of the girls that was being talked to in that group.
No,
remember, it was like 3
you're
girls
right.
that were being talked to. Rona hadn't even shown up. I don't think Vi was there because Vi was talking to Kennedy or something. So there was like more people in that house than like there's a lot more. There was a lot more than 4 pre-slayers.
Well, Buffy did give a speech about like, hey, if you don't like it, you can fucking run. Maybe 2 of them booked it.
I don't know. There was a lot more people standing in that construction site.
Maybe a couple went the way of Annabelle.
Hey, it's Sunnydale. You're going to lose a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when back in the day, people had a fuck ton of kids because they're like, 2 or 3 of these aren't going to make it past 1. We got to keep the family going and
got to keep that
get
farm
some farm
going.
hands.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what all slayers are anyway. Little child slaves.
Yeah, just little hellmouth farmers.
Yeah. So we go to the Summers household, and we're in the basement, and all the potentials are chattering. They're all, giggly and talking amongst themselves, and like teenagers do. And Buffy's getting pissed, and she just throws a gigantic axe at the wall to get their attention. She's like, all of you are gonna die. And they're like, what? She's like, oh, have your attention now? And they're like, yeah, you just threw a fucking axe at the wall. Like, what? And then Buffy goes on this long ass speech. Also, Dawn is down here.
Mm-hmm.
She's sitting on the stairs while the rest of the Slayers are just like in the basement.
Yeah.
And Buffy gives a speech about how death is what a Slayer lives and breathes, and tells them about Anya's intel that she got about the first backing off for a little bit because Buffy defeated the Turok Han, so they're not going to come and attack them right now, but you know what that means? It means they're regrouping and they're going to come back even stronger. And they're like, Jesus Christ. And then Buffy goes, and guess what? That means some of us are going to die in this battle. But guess what? You're all special. And you're a potential because you're special. There's some kind of intrinsic specialness about you that the mystical, magical properties of Slayerdom has identified. So, I mean, the less special ones will probably die, but the most special one might survive.
She's just saying this so that we can cut to sad shots of Dawn being like, you're not special.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And Dawn is just sitting on the stairs, kind of slumped over. And how they all have a purpose. And Dawn is like, I wish I had a purpose. And Buffy's like, all right, all of you are special, except for the one behind me.
Mm-hmm.
The ones in front of me are special.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dawn, let's go upstairs. Let's make you some breakfast so you're not late for school. And Dawn's like, oh, man. I still got to go to fucking school. This sucks.
Have you gone axe throwing?
I did it at Shacktoberfest, which, if you're not in the know, Shacktoberfest is it's a Halloween event thrown by Shaquille O'Neal, and it happens now every year in, I think it's Long Beach, and it's at the Queen Mary boat situation. They have like this big, like, they have haunted mazes and stuff. And it's like a big party, and Shaquille O'Neal like DJs and stuff, and there's a bunch of like inflatable Shaquille O'Neal stuff going on there. It's the most random fucking thing ever.
I've never heard of that.
Dude, it gets packed.
Oh,
Me and my girlfriend tried to go this year, and we like couldn't get in because it was so packed. And we bought tickets.
Did you tell them that you do a Buffy podcast?
You know.
You didn't drop it, did you? Yeah.
I didn't. We weren't popping off at the time like we are now. Next year, definitely. But Shacktoberfest replaced Dark Harbor, which was the exact same thing, but not Shack affiliated. Okay. For some reason, Shaquille O'Neal got this. It's the most random shit ever, dude. But I did it at Shacktoberfest, yes. I was not good at it.
Okay. Have
you ever done it?
I have done it a couple times. And every time I'm finished, I'm like happy I came back with all my fingers. And yeah, I think the last time I did it, I was pretty good at it. Yeah.
I like Buffy's strategy here to get their attention. I had a geometry teacher in high school who I went to an all boys high school, which explains a lot. But at the beginning of class, we were all chattering and rowdy like the potentials were in the basement. And this teacher would go, Gentlemen, hey, assholes! And after he screamed, hey, assholes, everybody would like shut the fuck up. And he goes, oh, so you don't answer to gentlemen, but you answer to assholes. I guess you're all a bunch of assholes. And I was just like, oh boy. Okay. That guy was not a good geometry teacher, though. Yeah. He was the track coach.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, Dawn's not feeling special. She's not destined for anything greater than herself, being a magical key that could open dimensions.
Her whole existence is magical.
Mm-hmm. She seems to forget she was the entire plot of season 5.
Also, you're 15. You don't have to have your purpose already.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so then we have Buffy at work, and she's on the phone with Xander, who apparently showers with the door open, and a couple of the potentials saw his big old dick hanging out.
Like, what a weird phone call. What a weird conversation that doesn't need to happen here.
Yeah, because the actual reason for the phone call is Xander's telling Buffy, or I think it's Xander telling Buffy, that Giles left to go pick up a potential Slayer in China.
Yeah, they're like, Giles is in this episode, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford him. He's going to China. And a girl comes in.
He's flying to China to fly someone back to Sunnydale.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
And he can't touch anything. How is he going to take his shoes off at the security? How is he going to present his ticket and ID?
Yeah, I don't know.
Call bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a girl comes in for counseling. It's a girl named Amanda, who we have seen before.
Mm-hmm.
She was a girl when Buffy first became the counselor that was like, how do I deal with bullies? And Buffy was telling her a bunch of advice about bullying. And Amanda is like, well, I'm actually the one bullying the people now. I took back the power.
Yeah, she beat the shit out of someone in the parking lot.
Yeah. And Buffy was all concerned about that. But it's this girl again.
Mm-hmm.
So nice little callback. Nice little recurring character here. And she comes in. She calls Buffy weird. She's like, hey, did anybody ever tell you that you're fucking weird?
Yeah.
And Amanda's like, I get picked on for being weird. And, you know, they say that if a guy picks on you, it means that he thinks that you're cute. And I've been picking on this guy, and I think he's cute. So we like keep bullying each other, and does it mean we're cute?
No, that's not kind of how it goes. She's been picked on, and she asked Buffy if and then she's like, I'm starting to think my bully's cute. And then she asked Buffy if that happens, does that mean a boy likes you? And then Buffy's like, yeah, it kind of does sometimes. And I was just like, no. Let's not give this Buffy, because it's definitely all set up to have Buffy talk about Spike. Mm-hmm. And it's coded that way. And I was just like, no, Buffy, don't give this girl bad advice.
Dude, and when Buffy goes on her own little world of like, well, it doesn't mean it's over, but it means definitely over, but maybe it's not over, but I don't know.
It depends on how much he hurts you to tell you how much he likes you. And I was just like,
if he's on top of you, bashing your head into a tub, saying, I'm going to make you feel it, he really likes you.
Just make sure he gets a soul afterwards.
As long as he feels bad, goes through a bit of torture, maybe you can forgive him. Maybe it's not over. Leave that door open a little bit, maybe.
If he was super nice, you could probably treat him like shit.
Oh, yeah. But when Buffy went in to her own little world in this scene, and Amanda's just kind of looking at her like, this bitch is crazy.
I was like, oh my God, are we doing the will they, won't they of Spike and Buffy again?
Yeah. Well, it's a different Spike because he's got a soul now, Vance.
But now we're back to the Buffy like, but this will never happen again. Never.
Oh, yeah.
Wink, wink, wink.
Yep.
Never happen again. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the will they, won't they, should they, shouldn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy had a hard day at work. She comes home and everyone in the house is arguing. I don't remember about what.
No. Yeah, they were yelling about something, and Xander was in the middle of it, and Andrew's standing behind them.
Yeah, Xander's yelling about something. Andrew eventually puts the kibosh on it somehow because he's just the loudest and shrillest voice. Mm-hmm. And then Buffy's just standing there and she crosses her arms. She's like, I don't have fucking time for this shit, dude. Like, oh God. And then Willow comes downstairs and Buffy's like, hey, look, everybody, it's Willow. And everybody stops arguing.
I know. It's like Willow hasn't been. Yeah, whatever. I have some Willow stuff to talk about later, but yeah.
So Willow comes down. She's like, Buffy, I have some news. Come upstairs. I need to share this news in secret.
Do they go upstairs or do they go to that living room?
I think they go upstairs because the living room scene looks like it's nighttime. And previously, at the beginning of the scene, it's daytime. But they could have went to the living room. I don't know. But Willow's talking to Buffy, Anya, and Xander. And she's like, hey, Althenia has located another potential slayer. And guess what? This potential slayer lives in Sunnydale, but they don't know exactly who it could be. They're like, I wish that they could just tell us who it is. And as soon as I saw this happening, I was like, oh God, no.
Mm-hmm.
And Willow's like, I'm going to do a locator spell to see who is the next potential slayer so we can go grab them. And Andrew's like, I want to go. And Buffy's like, no. And he's like, man, you guys don't
No.
do anything fun.
Buffy's going to go train the other pre-slayers. That's what he wants to go do.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, because they're going out on patrol. You're right.
And Dawn's hanging in the wings again. And she's like, no, you go. You have more important things to do. I'm worthless. I hate myself.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently the seers are able to tell when there's a potential slayer somewhere. And then they tell Buffy by calling the Summers home.
Yeah.
And
calling Willow.
Or maybe they didn't call her. Maybe they used some type of telepathy.
Yeah, maybe.
When Willow says I'm going to do a locator spell, I was like, really? You're
right?
okay with the magic again? We're back?
Right? That's what I was like, is she going to turn evil again?
I know you guys are like, hey, the first evil's taking a little break, but there's no, the first evil came back alarm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But Dawn is sitting there like, oh man, potential slayer in Sunnydale. Interesting. And then so the potentials are getting ready to go out on patrol with Buffy, and they're all chatting about like, ooh, I'm so excited to go on patrol. This is going to be so fun. And Dawn comes into the kitchen, and they're discussing like what's their favorite weapon. One of them's got a crossbow. Rona has a stake. She's like, can't go wrong with the classics. Plus, I like the feel of wood in my hands. And Kennedy comes in and she goes, lost me there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is a 15-year-old.
Well, she's probably
15.
She's probably 16.
Oh yeah, she's too old for this shit.
Really makes the Willow not hooking up with her thing make a little more sense too.
Yeah.
Because what is Willow, 21 at this point?
Yeah. 21, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Xander talks about how it's been 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 22, 23.
I'm trying to think.
Buffy came to town, she's 16, right?
This would be what, their third year of college?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking closer to 21.
College when I was 21.
Yeah, I think they're closer to 21.
All right, fair.
Yeah.
Well, then Xander's math is off when he's talking later.
What, he says 7 years?
Yeah.
Well, if he was 15 when the show started, he'd be like, what, 22?
I guess. Maybe you got held back a grade. That seems in line with Xander.
Or he just can be older.
I thought that Buffy was 16 when we all...
Was it 16?
I thought so.
What season is this?
Whatever.
What season are we on? Yeah.
16 plus 7 is 23.
Mm-hmm. Oh, has Buffy had a birthday this season?
Oh, God. Not yet. Oh, no, I'm not looking forward to that. Her birthday's in February, so we're looking down the barrel of that.
Okay.
But anyway. Kennedy's all excited. She's all jazzed because she's like, I hope we get to kill something tonight. Andrew's like, man, I wish I could go on patrol. And he's telling them, he's like, look, I'm not even evil anymore. I'm good. I'm a good guy. I've reformed. And Buffy's like, no, Andrew. Sprays him with a bad Andrew. He's like, how come Spike gets to go? He's killed way more people than I have. And Buffy goes, it's because Spike didn't have free will when he was doing that. And I was like, Andrew was being seduced by the first evil as well.
He had free will
when he killed Jonathan. I mean, last season he did.
Yeah, when they were like raping, willing to kill Buffy.
Yeah,
these are all bad things.
But also, Spike was willing to kill Buffy last season and seasons before. Oh,
are you not going to bring up the one other thing that Andrew brought up? That's right up your alley.
What did he say?
It's anime related.
Oh, yeah, he talks about Dragon Ball Z. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because all the Slayers are like, all right, let's go. Or potential Slayers are like, all right, let's go out on patrol. Buffy takes him out. And he's sitting there with Dawn. And Dawn's all jealous. And he's like, you want to play Dragon Ball Z?
No, well, he tries to convince Buffy that he's more like Goku now. He's set to change. I thought you'd be all locked in on that. I know you don't watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I said Dragon Ball Z is never one that I actually got into.
I don't even watch that much anime, and I still know the.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't find it to be fucking.
We have anime fans on the Discord
that are gonna crucify me for not watching Dragon Ball Z.
They're not gonna crucify you for that, but you weren't even gonna like mention it. You weren't even gonna mention it. You're the resident anime guy.
Everybody, I started watching anime at 28, I think. 27, 28.
You had an anime podcast, Joe. You're the anime guy.
A movie podcast. Movie podcast. Not series. Movie.
As fans of this podcast will know, a lot of your references come from anime. I'm like, oh yeah, remember that thing happened in this movie? You're like, oh, that thing happened in that anime.
They come. The only thing anime I reference is Steins Gate.
No. Faithful listeners will know you bring up a lot of anime references.
All right. I'm sorry I missed this one, Vance. I'm sorry. Dragon Ball Z, Goku. Yeah. But yeah. So Willow's starting to do her locator spell, and Dawn and Andrew are helping her out. And Andrew,
this is the part that this is my Willow moment.
Yeah. So Willow's like gathering all of her necessary items to complete the spell, and she's like, "Oh shit, where did my snakeskin go? And Andrew has the snakeskin. He's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna serve you, Willow." And Willow's like, "Dude, you're so lame." And then Andrew goes on this speech about like, wouldn't it be weird? How weird would it be if like people shed their skin? Like just walking around and then next day you got new skin? And Willow's just like looking at him like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I was waiting for a Warren thing to come and haunt Willow.
How is Willow not triggered by him mentioning humans shedding their skin? And it's literally Andrew saying this.
She could have had some kind of snide comment at like, hey, I've done it before, and if you don't give me that snake skin right now,
or just a look of like, there should be a moment where Andrew goes, "Ooh, sorry," like,
yeah,
he didn't realize he brought that up. And Dawn is there too. She knows the situation.
Yeah, she could have like slapped him on the shoulder, like, dude. This is the fucking Skinner.
So he says something that should like elicit a response from something. And then we get none of that. So it's like, why are we talking about this?
Yeah. We get like they just kind of look at him like he's dumb.
Yeah. And so Willow's completely past. She's over the trauma. Like completely. Like Andrew is sitting there at the table with her, mentioning something, one of her lowest points. And she doesn't even flinch. I was blown away by that.
And also, interestingly, Willow killed somebody. Was she not of free will, I guess?
She was under the Dark Powers, the book that she read herself because of Andrew and the trios. Damn it, just...
Anya was under her own...
No one can remember Andrew's name, so no, of course they don't want him to come out.
Xander, by proxy, has killed people.
Buffy should be training Dawn some more, though.
Yeah.
But if the training instinct is run, then then sure, why not?
But after this whole little like human skin shedding situation, Dawn starts talking about like, oh my God, I wonder who the potential Slayer might be. It might be this girl from my class. She's like super tall and Amazonian, or maybe it's this girl. She's really fast and she's really strong. And as she's going, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be Dawn.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh my God, it's going to be Dawn. And Dawn's like, I just wish we could know, like, how fast? I would love to know, like, right now. And Will was like, well, as soon as we do this spell, we should pretty much know right away. And I was like, oh my God, no. I know that we predicted this, but also, oh my God, no.
Yeah. I felt the same way.
Yeah. So Willow starts doing the spell. And what the spell does is it's some kind of glowing light situation that will go and it will attach itself to the new potential slayer. And that's how you can find out who the new potential slayer is.
It's the same one that Tara did to find Willow.
Mm-hmm. So they do the spell, the light starts happening, and the light goes into Dawn, slams her up against the door.
Yeah.
And she falls to the ground. And everyone's like, oh my Lord. Dawn is a potential slayer. And Dawn gets up and she's like, what? And they're like, look down. Look at your tummy, dude. It's glowing. And Dawn looks down and she's glowing. And she's like, oh God. Oh, this has got to be some kind of mistake. There's no way I'm a potential slayer. I mean, sure, a magical key that could open dimensions to the hell dimensions. Yeah, sure. I could believe that. That totally. Yeah. But a potential slayer, there's no fucking way. You must have done something wrong. And Will's like, no, dude. I did this spell right.
Yeah,
I
magic.
guarantee it.
My magic is never wrong.
Yeah. And she's like, no, it's got to be a mistake. And Willow's like, dude, think about it. It makes sense. You know, the whole blood of the Slayer, it's all the same blood situation, that bullshit thing that we came up with at the end of season 5. It's got to fucking work for this too, right?
They literally say, we don't even get the blood thing. It doesn't even make sense to them.
Yep.
The show is hand waving so much of its own stuff.
Yeah. And like Anya is like, dude, I never got that, but whatever. Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah. You mean the thing that allowed her to close a portal and kill herself? You're like, I didn't get it?
Yep.
You're a demon in this world, and you didn't think that made sense? That's wild.
For over 50 years, Burlington's legacy has been great deals on coats for all weather conditions. So before you're caught unprepared for the winter weather, head to Burlington for name brands, quality items, and surprising fits for every family member. Stock up on coats, sweaters, and accessories before the cold hits, so you can finally stop avoiding the elements and start living comfortably. Warm up at your nearest Burlington location less than 1 mile away. Burlington. Deals, brands, wow.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
So Dawn says, like, well, this sucks. If I'm a potential slayer, that means Buffy has got to die. Like, and if I become the slayer, that means Buffy died, and I don't want Buffy to die. And Xander just comes out and says it. In case anybody was on the fence, he goes, Dawn, you're important now. And I was like, ew, ouch, dude. Like, when he said that, I was like, damn, dude, that's a little harsh. Like, she wasn't important before. But Dawn gets all worried. And she's like, oh my God, my life has just completely changed. My whole life is just flipped upside down. I could be a potential slayer. This is craziness. And I don't want Buffy to know. I don't want Buffy to know that I might be a potential slayer. And they're like, why? She's like, I just want to keep it a secret for a while because I don't know. I need some time to fucking figure this out. Maybe this is what my mom meant when she appeared to me. And they're like, oh, dude, remember that? We discussed that. That might have been the first evil. And Dawn's like, I'm going upstairs, guys. This is too much to take in right now. And so she goes upstairs and she's freaking out. And the Scoobs are downstairs. Well, Xander, Willow, and Anya are downstairs. And they're like, whew, man, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? And Anya's firmly in this has got to be sucking ass for Dawn. She just figured out that, she might be a slayer. And slayers have brutal, horrible, terrible, horrendous, painful, short lives. And it means that her sister's going to die. She could become the slayer, and then she's going to have a brutal, horrible, fucking short life. And they're like, ooh, hey, Anya, let's lighten it up a little bit.
I was like, that doesn't even make any sense to me, Anya. Like, all of your lives are short. It's not like Dawn's life is much more extended if she wasn't a Slayer. Like, she almost dies like every other week. Like, so, like, what are they talking about?
Yeah. But Willow's like, no, this is a good thing. This is awesome. Like, Buffy's going to be so proud and she's going to be so happy to find this out. And Xander, again, making the most sense. He's like, hey, dude, we should give her some time. Like, she just found out that she might be a Slayer. It's a lot to take in. She's got to take some time to think about it. Let's respect her wishes and not tell Buffy, and like let her tell Buffy herself if she wants to. Because like this is a big fucking deal. And we don't know if it's good or bad. It's up to her to decide. And then Andrew comes in with his like, wow, this is just like an allegory for girls becoming women, isn't it? You know, one day you're just all innocent and then you start having your period and you blossom into a woman. And like the Scoos just look at him like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah. He does have a line in this where they want to talk to Buffy, but she didn't take her cell phone for some reason. And he goes, incommunicado. I kept thinking of John Wick.
Yeah. But yeah, Xander is like, we should respect Dawn's wishes, but I believe in Dawn. I think that she'd be a great Slayer, but we gotta we don't even know if she's going to be the next Slayer. It's like, she's a potential Slayer. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. And then we cut upstairs and Dawn is like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. She's sneaking out of her.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want her to push herself and go too far and do something drastic. And she's like, drastic, did you say? Dawn roaming the streets at night. I love doing that.
All alone?
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. I mean, she's not even a Slayer yet, and she's going to have a brutal,
yeah, exactly.
brutal dying.
I'm just talking like she's more likely to die because she's a Slayer than just being related to the Slayer. Just being in that house is a death sentence.
So next up, we have one of the scenes that, in my estimation, I feel like this made very little sense.
It's an interesting dichotomy of what Buffy, demons and Buffy are tricky. Yeah.
Yeah. This made no, and I'll explain why as we go through it. So Buffy takes all of the potential Slayers to a demon bar. And they're like, hey, try to blend in. And they're like, we're a fucking bunch of 15-year-old girls. We're not going to blend in. And they're like, wait a minute.
I'm actually 18 if that makes it legal for what I want to do with Willow.
But Buffy is like giving them the lowdown, like, hey, sometimes you might need to come to a demon bar to get some information, some intel, beat the snot out of some demons, and find out like what's the word on the street. And I was like, we almost never see Buffy doing this.
Every now and then she would go to Willie's.
Yeah.
But this isn't like her go-to most of the time.
Yeah, this looks like a very completely new bar.
The fact that this bar, so Willie's probably still exists. The bar that we went to with Spike, where they were gambling, where they were playing poker for kittens, that seemed like a different bar. And this seems like another one. So this
then there's also the bar where Giles and Ethan Rain met up.
Well, that I'm saying demon bars. I'm not doing regular bars.
Oh, that was a regular bar?
Yeah, there wasn't demons in there. That was just them hanging out. That was just them like getting a drink at a regular bar. I'm talking about, we know Willie's bar is demon bar.
Yes.
We know the bar that with gambling kittens, demon bar.
Well, then there's the bar that Warren went to.
That was out of town.
Warren went? That was out of town?
Or was that in town? That must have been.
That was in town because they told him that he needs to run because Buffy's going to come back to life.
So you got the one that Warren went to, and then this one. So in this one Starbucks town, there are 4 dedicated demon bars where no one's hiding their demonness.
I think we could also probably count the Bronze as a demon bar at this point.
Yeah. The Bronze is it's for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like there's a lot of demon activity. And Buffy mentions that if you come here, everyone here wants to rip you apart. But how are you doing shakedowns?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a line in here that's really, really weird to me. One of them says it's like a gay bar, but with demons.
Yep.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. That was why.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah, dude. It means what it means. It is like a gay bar, but with demons.
But why a gay bar? Why is it not just like a bar with demons? What makes it a gay bar with demons?
At a regular bar, gay people can show up and it'll be fine. But a gay bar,
I don't know.
But the girls are like, oh, wait, so if this is a demon bar, there's like no rules here, right? So we could drink. And Buffy's like, yeah, sure. I guess if you want to drink, go for it. And then so the girls rush up to the bar and they're like, ooh, I want to get something to drink. And Buffy's like, sure, you can get a drink if you want to get a pig's blood shot or a llama penis mixer spritzer or something. I don't know. She said some other thing.
I was wondering where your mind was going to go. Llama penis. All right. Oh, now I get it. It is like a gay bar. Mixer. It is like a gay bar for demons. That's what it is. Got it. Now I get it.
You've never had llama penis spritzer? I don't drink, Vance. This is why I don't drink.
All the swizzle sticks are just like penises. Just all swizzle sticks are penises at that place. I get it. It's a gay bar, but with demons. Got it. You have yak penis shots, vengeance demon penis shots. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You got to the bottom of it.
Yeah. I want to drink the llama penis.
Like
spritzer mixer.
And we know Kennedy doesn't want any of the penis drinks, but it's
yeah. If it was a llama vagina spritzer mixer, Kennedy would be down. Oh, God. Yeah. So, luckily, after this, something we've been pining for, something we've been yearning for, something we've been begging for happens.
Goat penis shots.
Clem shows up and he's like, hey, Buffy, what's up? And Buffy's like, Clem. This is like after Buffy's talking about like any of these demons will rip your fucking throat out and they'll all kill you in a moment's notice. And then Clem taps Buffy on the shoulders like, what's up, dude? And Buffy's like, Clem, oh my God, how's it going?
Yeah.
And then so Buffy like pulls Clem aside. She's like, hey, these are all potential slayers. And then she starts whispering in Clem's ear. And Kennedy is like, you think those two dated too?
Yes. Do you think she dated him too? And they all like have a smirk. And I'm like, yeah, Buffy, what is your reputation? You got people in school calling you a freak. Oh, man.
Yeah, man. And I was like, nice snide line from Kennedy that I was like, so fucking funny. So she's whispering in Clem's ear, and then Clem goes, hey, girls, come here, gather around real quick. And they all gather around Clem. And then he like shoots out a bunch of like crazy shit out of his face to freak them all out.
Yeah, it's shot from behind him. So it's very Beetlejuice-esque. Whereas like you don't see what the face is, but you see all the stuff behind them, and then you see their reactions. But their reactions aren't as big as you think it would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that Buffy was like, hey, go over and freak those girls out real quick.
I don't know if I'd be freaked out by the demon that was just chatting with Buffy that made a weird face after I was in a demon bar.
Yeah. Especially that one demon that Spike is talking to that had a bunch of llama penises hanging off of his face. Dude, he had a bunch of crazy shit. And didn't somebody mention like couldn't you just like rip off their genitals? Or Spike says something how he's going to rip off his privates or something.
I don't remember that. But
I'm pretty sure that happens.
why was he threatened by someone?
I think that he was talking to this guy who had a bunch of like tendrils hanging from his face. And the guy was like, what's up with all the girls? Did you bring them for a sacrifice? They look tasty. And Spike says something like, if you try it, I'll rip off your privates or something like that.
I just remember Spike saying, ugh, with these prices, it's better to have regular blood. And then the girl looks at him like, what? And he's like, vampire.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So, anyway, we
This
go
is,
over
what
to...
what kind of training is this? If you're in trouble, sneak into this demon bar without Slayer powers. This will help you find information.
Yeah, I guess it was just Buffy showing her usual haunts to get information or something. She should have taken him to Willie's and be like, see this guy, Willie? Like, any of you right now without Slayer powers could beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah.
He's got information. He's a little snitch. He's a little rat. But
they should have gone to the Bronze, and the girls would have been like, whoa, this is fun. This is party. And they'd be like, watch for vampires, because 90% of the people in here are vampires.
They should have went to the Bronze and had Willow repeat her line from last episode. Them being like, oh, this is so fun. This is so fun. Willow go, just wait. Just wait. It's
showtime.
Fucking the singer from some bullshit band, Chino Moreno or whatever, becomes a vampire. Anyway. So then we go over to Dawn, and Dawn, as we said, she's wandering the streets alone.
Mm-hmm.
Smartest thing you can do it in Sunnydale.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees Amanda, the girl that Buffy was counseling earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And Amanda is like, oh, hey, what's up, Dawn? How's it going? And Dawn's like, hey, Amanda, what are you doing out so late walking alone? And Amanda's like, could I ask you the same question? But Dawn's like, ha, 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 yeah. So, good seeing you. I'm just going to continue with my walk. And Amanda's like, yeah, sure, I am too. And then Dawn's like, hey, wait a minute. Looks like you got a cut on your head. What's up with that cut? Are you all right? And Amanda's like, all right, I'll be honest with you. I'm coming from school, and there was a guy or some kind of thing that scratched me on the fucking head. And it had some kind of like crazy face, some kind of fucked up looking face. And yeah. And Dawn's like, did it happen to scratch your head with its teeth by any chance? And Amanda's like, yeah, actually.
This is so weird. Who says scratched with teeth? It's so forced and clunky.
Mm-hmm. But Amanda's then like, look, I know I'm gonna sound crazy if I tell you this, and please don't judge me. And Dawn's like, trust me, dude, I could never judge anybody. She's like, I think it might have been a vampire. And I was actually on my way to your house because, look, honestly, everybody at school thinks your sister is like some kind of crazy, high-functioning schizophrenic. But I've also heard rumblings that she kind of knows how to handle things like this. Again, what is Buffy's reputation?
I just love it. Like,
yep.
She can't like walk around this town without being noticed.
Yes.
It's impossible. Like, people have seen her literally fist fight things in the street.
In the street, in bars,
in
construction sites.
Everybody at that school saw her fight that demon in that cult that was going to sacrifice Cassie or something.
Yeah.
Those guys still go to the school.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are still around.
Yeah. Even though Zachary Ty Bryan or whatever his name is, he's dead according to Discord.
Yeah. And I guess the principal buried his body. That would make sense now. But
we haven't seen the principal in a minute.
You mean just this episode?
Yeah. Was he in the last episode?
I think so. Was he? What was the last episode? No. Did she go to school last
No, he
episode?
wasn't. I don't think he was in the last episode.
No.
But anyway, Dawn is like, hey, look, dude, I believe you. I think that it might have been a vampire. And guess what? My sister's out right now. but I'll help you. Dawn's feeling big and brave now that she's learned that she might be a potential slayer.
Where was Dawn going before?
Just going out for a nice nightly walk to get some air and clear her head.
Okay.
Maybe she was going to Janice's.
Or Kip's.
Oh, Kit, yeah.
Kit, yeah.
Kit or Carlos's.
Yeah, Carlos doesn't exist in the show anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really thought they were going to be the trio, the little school trio.
I thought so too.
Instead, we're spinning it off with this ragtag group of pre-slayers.
Yeah. All righty.
It really does feel like when a show gets to that point where they just start throwing new characters in, they kind of like, all right, we need something to shake it up.
Yeah. I thought that's what they did with Dawn.
Dawn was an interesting introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so anyway, Dawn and Amanda go to the school because Amanda tells Dawn that, like, hey, whatever that thing was that attacked me, I locked it in a classroom. And so they sneak into school, and Amanda's like, hey, this is kind of dangerous. I just want to know, like, do we need to kill the vampire? Maybe we could just, like, sick it on people that I don't like. And it was on this whole story about, like, maybe we could do it. Is it like the marching band or the jazz band or whoever was bullying her in the marching band or something?
Yeah, something. And it was one of those moments where you're like, is she a problem?
Absolutely, she's a problem.
Yeah. Which makes her a perfect slayer.
Absolutely, she's a perfect slayer.
Just a little unhinged. Yep.
Yeah. So they finally get to the room where the vampire has been trapped, according to Amanda. And Dawn's like, hey, we're going to be fine. I'm pretty sure that's a vampire in there. But let's go inside and we're going to fucking kill this thing. So Dawn opens the door and she's like, wait a minute. Amanda, I thought that you said it was locked. And Amanda goes, I thought it was too. It was locked. And then Dawn's like, oh my God, the vampire must have found a way to escape then. And then we get a little pan up. And we see that the vampire is doing like a Spider-Man at Thanksgiving.
Nice.
He is clung to the ceiling, just waiting to do a little surprise drop. And yeah, so Dawn and Amanda are looking around. They're like, well, I guess the vamp isn't here. We got to go find it. And as soon as they're like, all right, let's go, the vampire drops down and he attacks them, and Amanda and Dawn start booking it.
They didn't bring any weapons.
They never have weapons, Vance.
What was the plan? Dawn, what's your plan? You know how to kill vampires.
Yeah.
You know there's a vampire trapped in a room. You are just going to open the door and do what? Like, she doesn't even have a stake on her, a crucifix, a holy water. She has nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have taken something just for the walk. What is going on?
I just remembered a line that I missed in the recap when they were all talking. One of the potential slayers are talking about going out on patrol, and Kennedy's like, hopefully we get to kill something tonight. And Dawn's like trying to bond with him, and Dawn goes, I have killed things. I was like, oh yeah, she has.
Yeah.
But yeah, not tonight. This time around, she's not bringing a steak. She's not bringing a flask of holy water.
But like, what? You are literally going to kill a vampire with nothing. I did not understand that.
I guess she was going to trust her gut instinct and run. Let the fight come to her.
Yeah, we've seen how well it's worked out with people running from vampires in schools.
Look, Dawn knows the most important lesson, Vance. Who has the power?
The vampire.
Vampire always has the power, all right?
So why even try to fight it?
Don't even try.
Also, how do a vampire can get locked in the classroom?
Yeah, right?
It's not going to break a window?
Yeah, we literally saw two teenage girls like climb in through a window, and the vampire's locked in a room. And he's like, shit.
Yeah.
How the fuck am I going to get out of here? Look.
It's not like it's just a random wild animal and it's like confused. Just none of that made any sense to me.
So Amanda and Dawn run away from this vampire and they get to like the main school exit and they try to leave, but they're locked in. They can't get out.
How did they get in?
They climbed in through the window, man.
But it can't climb out.
It's
Maybe
a
they
little
should.
too-
Maybe they should take the rappels that they used to rappel into the school, like Jonathan and Andrew.
But a vampire corners them, and Dawn breaks open the fire extinguisher in case of emergency glass, and she starts trying to use. She's like, I don't know how to use this thing. Is it upside down? Is it which one? And she just like hits the vampire in the face with it,
Mm-hmm.
and they run again.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go over to Buffy and the Potentials, and they're in a mausoleum / vampire nest. And Buffy's like, here's a lesson for you girls. Vampires can live anywhere, but mostly in fucking graveyards. That's why we hang out here so often. And this is a vampire nest, and looks a little tacky. And Spike's like, yeah, this is fucking terrible, dude. Like, this is bullshit. I lived in a much nicer place. And the Potentials are like, where'd you live? He's like, well, I lived in a crypt, but it was I don't want to say posh. And Buffy's like, it was comfy. And Spike's like, thank you. And the Potential's like, Jesus, dude.
Like,
Why don't you just also tell us about how many fucking veins he has on his dick? Like,
yeah, like it is no subtlety that Buffy and Spike have been hooking up. And Spike is just like hanging around, just being like his charming Spike self. It is like they're not even. If I was them and I had access to a vampire, I would just be riddling him with questions.
oh, yeah.
Just machine gun, like just okay. So how does this work? Can you do like get all the information you need? Because you're vampires, you're slayers, and you're gonna fight demons, but vampires are mostly what you're gonna kill. And you have to just get all the information. And the best chance you have is this Spike guy who's been a vampire for 100 years.
Yep.
Just sit him down, ask every single question. Like, don't
So
pull a Giles, like, what happens to a vampire if they don't drink blood? I'm a watcher and I don't know what happens. Like, what?
What are the invitation rules? Explain it to me, please. So I don't have 2 seasons of confusion.
Don't make us have to skip 2 seasons of Boys Watching Buffy out of frustration.
Is it Giles or Giles? Please just get that out of the way right now. But I do love that Buffy's like, it was comfy. And one of the Potentials goes, how do you know?
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, shut the fuck up and just explore the nest. Don't worry about my personal life.
That I keep bringing up.
Yeah. And Buffy's like, yeah, check out the nest, see what it's like. I think I saw like there's like a Pantera poster in there or something. There's some kind of metal band poster. And so they start walking around, they're looking. And Rona and Molly are looking together and they're like, Buffy, we found something. We found a body. And Buffy goes over and it's a face down body.
No freaking out about finding a dead body. Just casual. All right, we've seen it all now.
Yep. So Buffy goes over and she's like, oh man, yep, this isn't a fresh one. This is leftovers. And then she just gets up. And then the vampire like slowly turns his face around and reveals that he's vamp face. But nobody reacts. Nobody's like, Buffy, look, Buffy, be worried.
I think when she said leftovers, they're all like, fuck it, we're slayers. We don't care about dead people.
Is it a part of my immediate friend group? It doesn't matter.
Nope.
I won't go and find revengeance or justice for this dead person.
I love the idea that the police could get a report of a blonde woman and a male kicking down an apartment door, and then there's a dead body of Eve last episode. And they're just like, oh, she's dead. All right, let's get out of here. I was like, this is like a crime scene that you guys just walked into. Good luck explaining, if it was competent cops, why you guys kicked the door down.
Yeah, I also wonder if Buffy ever calls 911 to report that. Like, hey, I was just doing some independent journalism, one of those Buffy lies.
Yeah.
About, I was trying to find if I should give this motel a 5-star rating. I found a dead body. You should go check that out.
Nope, she just left that door open and let some neighbor stumble in there and have a horror, be traumatized.
Yeah, some housekeeper.
Yeah.
So we go back to Dawn and Amanda, and they're still running. They run into a science lab. They're like, come on in here. We need to barricade the door. And they try to figure out like what they should barricade it with. And they put a gigantic metal cabinet in front of it. And the vampire eventually shows up and he's like banging on the door. I thought it was going to be one of those classic gags of they barricade the door, but it's a pull door from the outside and the vampire is just going to be able to get in.
Yeah, this isn't Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed on Patreon this Thursday. Patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. So we go back to the vampire nest, and Buffy is now fighting the vampire, and she's giving a speech to the potentials like, oh, this guy, you don't want to ever be caught up on your heels when you're fighting a vampire. And we go back to Dawn and Amanda, and Dawn's like, Amanda, we're going to get out of this alive. Don't worry. I have a plan. And we go back to Buffy. Buffy's still fighting the vampire, and Kennedy's like, wants to maybe go in and help her, and Spike stops her. He's like, hey, no. Don't do that. Whenever Buffy needs help, we say no.
The Buffy fight teaching was weird to me because they just watched her beat up an unbeatable vampire.
Yeah.
So I was like,
this is cake.
Yeah.
Like, she should be able to take this thing out so fast.
Yeah. It just sometimes, vampires get the best of her too.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But then we go back to Dawn, and Dawn's like, okay, so you know that plan that I have? It's not guaranteed to work, but I have a plan. We're going to get out of this alive. But I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. And then the vampire kicks down the door and breaks down the barricade, and Dawn starts screaming, and Amanda starts running away.
The vampire that they locked in the room and it couldn't get out is able to break into this room. Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. All right. Yeah.
He busts through the window.
He couldn't figure his way out of a room, but he can get into one. Got it. He knows how to get past locks. The fact that this vampire is not smarter than a raptor in Jurassic Park is insane to me.
Oh, man. Well, maybe he was just like, you know what, this will be a good hiding spot. I'll wait until it's daytime,
yes,
and then I'll jump down.
Yeah, I'll wait till the sun comes up and I get burnt alive in this place.
So then we have like a little cut between Buffy fighting the vampire and Dawn starting to fight the vampire, and Buffy's giving all this advice about like, if you're going to fight a vampire, you need to know your environment and use anything to your advantage. And we see Dawn trying to do that. And she's like throwing chairs at this thing. She's throwing some kind of chemical beaker at it, and it starts smoking. Dawn grabs a flagpole and breaks it in half to attack the vampire.
It's funny that she tries to break it in half over a knee and she can't.
Yeah.
And then she has to like break it over a desk or something. But I thought that was amazing that she couldn't just do the Buffy. We've seen Buffy do this 100 times. Grab something wooden, break it, obviously breaks into a point.
Yeah.
Then just stabs it. But she just can't break it over a knee. And it's perfect.
Yeah. And so eventually, like, the vampire, like, gets the flagpole out of her hand, and he gets on top of Dawn, and he's about to fucking take a chomp out of her. And as Dawn is about to get killed, we go back to Buffy and Spike, and Buffy's like, here endeth the lesson again. And she leaves the potentials in that room with the vampire, and she's like, good luck. And then they lock them in there.
When that happened, I was like, so Buffy's no better than Giles and the Watchers.
I was just about to say, Buffy, you gotta wait 3 years to do this to these girls.
Maybe Kennedy. Maybe Kennedy you could throw in here. But the rest of them, this isn't cool. This isn't.
No, it's not at all.
At least when Buffy and they took Buffy's powers and they're going to run that test on him. Not great either, but Buffy had been fighting at a certain point.
Yes. Buffy knew like the ins and outs of vampires. This is like day 2 of these girls training.
They haven't killed anything yet.
Yeah. And they're getting the Kralik test.
Yeah. They're getting,
3 years premature.
They're getting like pushed out of the nest. All right. What
Now,
would have happened?
It is like 6 on. It is 6 on 1 or however many there are.
It's only
5.
4 of them. It's only like 4 of them. It's only the 4.
It's 4 of them?
Yeah, it's Vi, Rona, Kennedy, and Molly.
Molly.
Yeah, they've narrowed it down to make it simplified.
Okay.
But there was definitely more episodes before.
Yeah, there definitely was.
But what if this vampire just killed all of them?
Hey, then Buffy's part of the first evil. She's a sleeper agent.
Yeah. Because
she's a mole.
They don't even leave Spike in there just in case. It was like, no, you guys have to fly on your own.
And it's so funny
the way they run out.
Well, it's so funny seeing how Buffy and Spike run out, but then like the potential Slayers' battle stances are so unprepared.
Oh, they're just cowering in the corner, it seemed like.
It's so funny, man.
What would the lesson be? Here ended the lesson, and the lesson was Buffy can beat up anything last episode. This lesson is Buffy will abandon you.
Yeah. Joyce was right. When it comes down to it, Buffy will not choose you.
Yes. Oh, man. I was just, I get it for what they want to do, but it's just knowing Buffy's history, it feels really strange.
Yeah. And just like you said, she is no better than Quentin Travers and Giles doing like, we were all like, dude, this is fucked up. This is bullshit. Why are they doing this to Buffy? This is crazy. But it did prove her worth as a Slayer after she had 2 years of being a Slayer.
Yeah.
These girls just found out that they might potentially be a Slayer.
And guess what? Apparently, you don't need to be a Slayer to kill vampires. Like I've been saying.
Yep.
These potential Slayers are just as good.
Yeah. Yep.
As we see this episode.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So we go back to the Summers house. And Willow is at Dawn's door. She's knocking. She's like, Dawnie, I would like to talk to you. It's me, Xander, and Anya. And Anya's like, can I kick down the door? I want to fucking kick down the door. And they're like, what's up with you, dude?
Yeah.
But they're like, Dawn, let us in. And then Willow just tries the knob and it's unlocked. And like, okay, it's unlocked. Let's go in. Dawn, let's really talk to you about this. Oh my God, Dawn has escaped. I gotta go do another fucking locator spell.
Yeah, that's her go-to, man.
Yeah. This is the only magic that she's able to do, aside from telepathy.
Yeah. Can she do telepathy with Dawn?
Probably.
She should.
She did it with Xander.
Yeah, but I don't think we've ever seen her do it with Dawn.
I think that she can.
I think she can. We just haven't seen it.
Yeah. All right. So we go back to where Dawn is. And Dawn is about to get her ass fucking bit by the Slayer. And she starts screaming. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, what a mistake.
Well, you said ass bit and you were thinking Slayers like to bite
ass. Yeah. Well, technically ex-vengeance demons like to bite asses.
True, yeah.
Yeah. So Dawn is about to get her ass
we watched way too much Buffy. I know this is our first watch, and I think we've watched too much Buffy, and other people are on like their 5th rewatches.
Yeah, man. It consumes my mind a lot.
It messes up like I heard something that's like, oh, I have a theory, and then the song popped in my head. And every time I hear that now, that song will pop in my head, and that has fundamentally changed me as a person.
I was at a Star Trek themed burlesque show recently.
Wow.
And apparently, yeah, we get into the nitty gritty. And at the Star Wars themed burlesque show, it's one of our listeners.
You said Star Trek. Was it Star Wars or Star Wars?
Look, I am fucking wasted right now.
I'm just saying.
At the show, one of our dear faithful listeners was there. Shout out Jennifer LaFay. But apparently there was a musical episode of Star Trek, and I was talking to my buddy, and I was like, there was a musical episode of Star Trek? There's a musical episode of Buffy. I was just like, it's like Regina George, Lindsay Lohan, Katie, word vomit with Buffy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone starts talking about Buffy, I'm like, oh, let me share some opinions.
Yeah, I still haven't had a lot of Buffy come up in my regular interactions yet. But yeah, it's definitely living rent-free in our head now.
Oh, yeah. And just like you, if somebody says, I have a theory, that song.
Yeah.
I mean, my girlfriend will start singing that song if somebody says, I have a theory.
Yeah, because she knows all the lyrics, all the songs.
She knows all the fucking words.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so Dawn is about to get bit by this vampire, and she starts screaming for Amanda's help. She's like, Amanda, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Please help me. Please, I'm about to die. Please, please, please. And Amanda's just cowering in a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Harbingers show up, and they bust into this room, and they go up and they grab Amanda. And this distracts the vampire that's on top of Dawn enough for where Dawn can escape. And Dawn uses her environment and lights all of the Harbingers on fire. And she and Amanda run out and escape.
Well, there's a key moment when the Harbingers, because they were Harbingers before the first came, and now they're Bringers because it's here. Okay. They go after Amanda, and Dawn goes, no, it's me you want.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was interesting that, because in those chemistry labs, they have those little gas, what are those things? I don't like the gas valves on the desk.
Bunsen burner.
Yeah, the Bunsen burner things. And then Dawn decides to use that against the Harbingers. But she didn't try to do that against the vampire whose weakness is fire.
Exactly. Exactly.
What were you saving that for?
No, instead she was going to grab a big old American flagpole and break it over her knee.
Yeah. And I get that they wanted Amanda in the corner for this thing when the Bringers show up, but it's no way she cowers after what we know about Amanda.
Right?
She's
a bully.
Amanda would have gone ham on this vampire.
Wow. Foreshadowing from Vance's mouth. We see Dawn and Amanda running away, and they escape into a stairwell. And Dawn grabs Amanda, and she's like, look, I thought I was something that I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing. You are one of the potential chosen ones. You're a potential vampire slayer. Those things are after you. I thought they were after me. Thank God they're not. They're after you. So it's kind of fucking up to you. So here's this flagpole. Good luck.
And Xander has shown up and he sees this.
Yeah. And the Harbingers and the vampire show up. And then Amanda just starts beating the fuck out of all of these evildoers. Just going to fucking town with this flagpole. Like, she was just cowering 2 minutes ago. And the second she got some wood in her hand, it like awakened her fighting spirit. And she's just, I mean, I don't even know if Buffy's ever beat the shit out of some things like this.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. She's just like spinning that staff, hitting people, knocking them out.
Yeah. It was some Donatello shit, man.
Yeah.
And then eventually she dusts the vampire that was after them. Mm-hmm. And Buffy's in the background just breaking necks.
We get a classic Buffy neck break.
And then Amanda's like, yo, I might be a fucking potential slayer? Yo, this is sick, dude. And Dawn is in a corner kind of like, yeah, guess it's kind of sick for you, I guess.
Yeah. I wanted to be threatened by the Harbingers.
I wanted everybody to want to kill me. Don't worry.
You had Glory chasing after you for a whole season.
I was going to say, don't worry. It's still going to happen, Dawn.
Yeah.
Things are still going to want to kill you. So, next day, we're back at the Summers house, and Rona and the other gals are talking about dusting their vamp, and they're all
They survived.
stoked about it. Oh, yeah. Thankfully.
Oh, wow. Ooh. That'd be
Buffy
funny
just-
if it was like, if they were like, well, they didn't survive, but luckily we found the other girl.
Yeah. Just in the nick of time.
Yeah. She must have harnessed all of their powers.
Yeah. But yeah, the other girls are talking about like, yeah, we dusted that fucking vampire. When you said like, oh, why don't you fight somebody your own size or whatever? Like, oh yeah, it was so badass. And they're all so stoked about killing. And they all felt like they knew what they were doing.
Mhm.
And then Amanda's also there. And they're like, dude, you killed a vampire on your own. What was that like? And Amanda was like, it was pretty fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It was sick, dude. Like I had the staff and I was like, wow, bow, bow, bow. Fuck off, harbingers, bow, 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 bow.
Mm-hmm.
And Dawn is just in another room listening, like, I'm not fucking special.
My note says that she feels like just another nobody, just another loser like Willow. This is how Willow felt. And Xander for most of the first couple seasons.
Yeah. But yeah, so Buffy comes up from behind Dawn and she's like, hey Dawn, are you all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just gonna guess I'll just like hit the books and do some more research about the first and see if I can figure something out. Buffy's like, all right, cool. Thanks. Appreciate it. Potential slayers with me. We're going down to the basement.
We're gonna get ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Dawn, stay in your cage.
I'm taking the pre-slayers out for ice cream. You research.
So Buffy and the other potentials go into the basement to train, and Dawn's just sitting down. She opens up a book. She starts doing her research, and Xander is still up there, and he's just like looking at Dawn. And he like walks over to Dawn, and he's like, hey, look, nobody really talks about how hard it is. And Dawn's like, what? He's like, look, I know how jazzed you were about being a potential slayer. I saw it in your eyes. You were stoked. And nobody talks about how difficult it is for us, the regular people, the normies that are around all of this greatness, around Buffy, who is the chosen one. It's fucking brutal, dude. It's been 7 years that I've been hanging out with this crew, and I've watched all of my friends gain some kind of power. Buffy's the chosen one. She's the slayer. Willow became the most powerful witch in the dimension. I was about to marry a 1,400-year-old vengeance demon. Hell, even Oz, who could fit in my back pocket, he would be, every once in a full moon, every month, he'd become a fucking werewolf. And here I am. I'm the guy that replaces the windows, and no one thinks about us, and no one talks about us, and we just kind of blend into the background, and it sucks. And I know it sucks, and I know how bad you must be feeling right now, but I'll tell you this. I was watching you, and I've been watching you, and they'll never know what it's like to be this close. And I gotta say this, Dawn, you're not special. You are extraordinary because you're doing all of this and you're fighting evil. You're in the face of evil. You're on top of a hellmouth with no powers, and you're here and you're fighting the good fight. And that is absolutely astonishing and commendable. And Dawn starts like getting all watery eyed. And then Xander like kisses her forehead and he walks away. And he's like, don't forget that. You're the fucking shit. And Dawn is like, yeah, you know what? We are kind of special. That was a really nice speech, Xander. And he's like, yeah, maybe I should get a cape. I am pretty super. And then he walks off. And Dawn is just like, about to bawl her eyes out. She just opens the book and starts doing more research. And that is the episode. And even just talking about that scene right now, like my fucking throat is getting a little like,
It's a great little moment. It's accurate. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to dislike Xander in this moment because it's like he saw something in Dawn related to her and actually paid her some attention. Like, and he does a kiss on the forehead that's not creepy or weird, it's just like it makes sense.
Actually, Vance, did he really need to kiss her on the forehead? Did he really need to do that? I think he just wanted to do that.
Now Buffy, flirting with Spike and being like, hey, his place was comfy.
We know Xander's history of wanting Dawn to have a crush on him, okay?
And I like that they said that Dawn wasn't the chosen one. Mm-hmm. That the Amanda girl was coming over and it went through her because she was at the door. That's the explanation of why it looked like it was choosing Dawn. It was going through her, through the door to Amanda. And I like that it was Amanda and not Dawn because it being Dawn is just so convenient. Yeah. And like I say, like sometimes we predict stuff and we're right. But a lot of the times the show, ups the expectations. God, what is the term?
Defies the expectations or like, oh, I know it.
Yeah,
I know what you're like. Oh, no.
I know. What is the term for
like,
that?
I'm thinking of like 100 different synonyms, but it's not the thing that I want to say. Oh.
Yeah, it's not defies expectations. That breaks up. Oh my God, yeah. It does that thing. That's very common. Fuck. What is it?
It's an upset. It's not upsets your expectations. Oh man. We got to get to the bottom of it. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, podcast listeners. This is going to drive me and Vance absolutely fucking crazy. It's not undercuts.
And you know what's crazy? Everyone listening is like, they already know it.
Oh yeah, and they're screaming at the top of their lungs. This is like the worst. Oh, this is linguistic blue balls. Oh
yeah. We're gonna think about this, and we might cut forward because you guys don't need to listen to us go through the whole. But we're gonna figure it out. Subvert
expectations.
Subvert expectations.
Yes, Vance. Yes. Ooh. We didn't have to cut.
Yeah. That was all real time. Still too long,
yeah.
but still real time.
Yeah.
So yes, the show.
Thanks for sticking with us through that trying time.
If you stuck through the invitation rules banter for seasons, that was nothing. Yes, it subverts expectations, and that's what the show does sometimes, and which is great. Mm-hmm. And it's great. They gave what we thought, and then they subverted it.
Yep. Yeah, it was great because, I mean, as soon as they were like, it's in Sunnydale, and then Dawn is like, who could it be?
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Yeah. It's like, oh, wait, she's the key.
I know
and
it's
she's
happening.
A priest slayer. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's happening, but no. And then when they didn't do it, I was like, all right, okay. Yeah. And then we got this powerful, amazing speech from Xander, Xander and Dawn, the MVPs of season 7 thus far.
Yeah.
Like, this was such a great moment and a great speech. And it's something that we've talked about a lot. And like a lot of what I bring up when we talk about like Xander's bravery and why Xander's Defender shirt exists. We got merch. It exists.
Yeah. I mean, he has problematic moments, but so does every other character.
Yep.
And, but he means well.
Yeah. So that is a wrap for Potential. You got anything else to say about Potential?
No.
That was a pretty good episode. Yeah. Definitely great closing moment. Buffy's no better than the Watchers and Quentin Travers at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. Next episode is titled The Killer in Me. I'm thinking it's more potential Slayer training, maybe something to do with Spike and Buffy and Maybe Buffy reopening the door to a relationship with Spike, but Spike feels like he's not worthy of it yet.
I'm going to predict that we get some insight into Principal Wood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been about 3 episodes. It's about time to bring his smooth-ass head back. All right. Well, that is a wrap for everybody. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. If you would like to get a shout out on the podcast, Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, send it in to us, and we will do that for you. We got a Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we do Boys Watching Angel, Joe's Fashion Report /Corner, and Boys Watching Movies, where this month's movie is Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. It'll be coming out in 2 days from now, from when this episode is released. So you got that to look forward to. That's a very fun podcast episode. Very fun.
Yeah, it is.
Join our Discord. Discord links in the show notes. We have a lot of fun conversations going on in there. Some of the stuff, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. But it seems like you're enjoying it, so have at it.
Yeah.
We got that. We got an Amazon wish list. We got merch. And we got an Instagram page at Boys Watching Buffy. Email is boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. And stay tuned for next time when we talk about The Killer in Me.
People ever think you're weird?
I guess. Sure. I mean, in a charming, endearing, lovable... Yeah.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.